So hey there, Matt. Can you hear me?
I can indeed, Bobbi Jo. How's it
Oh,
going?
it's going, it's going. So it seems like we don't have a whole crew of folks here yet.
Oh, okay.
Who will join us,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Well, I mean, yeah. Give them a few minutes and see who comes on. I'd like to meet some of the other folks, but yeah.
For sure, for sure. Okay.
Uh,
How do I get out of here? There we go. Ah.
oh, you're like me. You've got a million tabs open in your
I
browser.
know, I totally do.
Yeah.
I actually was setting up the tabs for like the conversation. So,
I see.
wow, it's totally doing, what is this called? Like closed captioning.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You've got. Is that something you activated on the Zoom? It just will do that, or is that something on your computer that's like unique to your computer? Because that's cool.
So I think it's on my computer because this is a Google Doc slideshow. And
Mm.
so it's like noting down my notes, like as I'm talking, yeah, on each slide. That's
Oh
kind of
wow.
cool.
Yeah, that's really cool because that would be really good for, any kind of Zoom conferences where like accessibility was concerned, for people, being able to participate and everything. I mean, I guess there's the chat too, but that just kind of makes
Right.
it, yeah, that's really cool.
It is very cool. So, oh, somebody else is on. Oh, Bhavin. Hey, Bhavin. He is not, he's just on video yet. He's not connected audio yet.
Yeah, I had to like press the little icon for video in the
Mm-hmm.
lower right corner there.
Okay. So, um, this is only our second call, so it's still a very new thing for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea was that we connect as many organizations as possible, like we do at the expo. But there we're talking to the community at large, we're talking to the public, and so a lot of times we don't have a chance to connect with each other. And so that was the thinking behind this call, and also just because everybody's so busy that it's hard to like schedule another in-person meeting from folks all around the
Absolutely.
county.
Yeah. I mean, that's the truth, really. Especially if it's really the Inland Empire Progressive Alliance. I mean, that could be potentially,
Like a
pretty
5 hour
far.
difference between one and
Yeah,
the other.
yeah, yeah.
All right,
Well,
so Bobin's on board here. Anybody else? Oh,
I think
Bobin went away.
Bob, yeah, he dropped out for some reason. Maybe lost his connection there.
Yeah. So then I was super excited to, and we could kind of start the thing and have folks join us so we kind of stay on time. Since we're recording it, I know a few folks reached out to me and said that they weren't going to be able to make it tonight anyway, just because something else was going on. And so one of the ideas that we had, and I'll go back to, was to sort of set some community agreements, and it's still a work in progress, but this is some of the things that we came up with. This is our second call with the Progressive Alliance. And the idea was to kind of set some ground rules, I guess, but more I like agreements better than rules. So if you don't mind, would you mind reading some of these? Maybe the key perspective
Uh,
part. You see it?
yeah,
Clear?
yeah. I can. So in terms of keeping perspective, try on other people's perspective and approaches. Practice self-focus and self-care. Notice when defensiveness and denial arise. Practice both, and instead of either or thinking, oh, both and instead of either or thinking. All right,
Yeah, no, this is the first time. You're doing great.
Expect and accept non-closure. Be aware of and accountable for impact. Yeah, those seem like pretty valid guidelines.
Yep. And then we continued on, and we're trying to see if this really works in terms of this is sort of a presentation kind of mode, and then everyone sharing, you know, ideas and events and that sort of thing. So definitely we need folks to actively listen, and use your energy to listen to what is being said before thinking about how to respond. And then my hope is that through this, we're going to build relationships with each other. But how to do that is speaking from your own experience by using I statements so that we get to know each other and each other's stories rather than like our philosophical musings on the world in general. So speak from your own perspective,
Yeah.
ask questions, and then ask questions to understand and the sources of disagreements. So that you understand, make space, meaning share speaking time and try to speak after others who have not spoken. And confidentiality is key. Trust is built when we share the message and not necessarily the messenger. Like, I know this girl Bobbi and she has this whole story, or rather, here's a story that I heard, right? So just
That's
kind
valid,
of,
yeah.
just for folks to feel safe, especially in the progressive movement and the real leftist movement, where we kind of can be marginalized or feel very alone in some of our areas of the two counties. So, you know, helping us stay safe. And the idea here is that it is to create and practice a culture of what Martin Luther King called the beloved community. And this was sort of the sixth and final step of the 6 steps to social change, was a beloved community where restoration and real peace, and not what he considered the unstable peace, but a real stable peace, just peace, can exist. So this is the idea behind the agreements and practices. It's a work in progress. It has been gathered from different sources. We're still accepting feedback and input, and to really fine tune to how it works for all of us. The overarching theme is community. We're trying to build a community here. And it's available for download at the website on the event page, and we'll put it up in a tools space as well. So there we are, the agreements, and let's see. It's just you and me, Matt. It's going to be a lovely
yeah, this is fine by me.
All right. So the idea behind the Progressive Alliance, and then I'll let you kind of take over and share your stuff with the DSA, is that the members of the Progressive Alliance help to sustain the organizational work in a cooperative model. We're sharing resources and tools in order to maximize our combined impact and towards a collaborative effort in the movement for economic, environmental, social, and racial justice. And that is really wonky. So if anybody has any feedback on how to like make that not so wonky, I'm way open for that. That's just something I wrote up, I think, in a proposal at one point. And
that sounds fine to me, yeah.
Okay, so then we haven't really fine-tuned all of this either, but we're hoping that a membership would include, again, a collective cooperative-based dues for the resource sharing. We have an account with Nation Builder. We have this Zoom video conference call. We organize the expos throughout hopefully at least 2 times a year, and maybe a conference of some sort. We share that community calendar, which is on our website, and we're hoping to gather folks who maybe aren't connected to an organization to help just be volunteers and provide organizing help for our members and organizations, and then to share training resources. You know, as if somebody learns something, is able to attend a conference or some sort of something out of the area, to bring it back to the community and share. So that's sort of the idea behind it. And, you know, it's a sliding scale based on, one, affordability, the size of your organization. So starting from 0 to $10 or $15 a month, and more for the organizations that have more resources if they do. So there's a few folks who give a couple bucks a month, and that is what helps pay for the Zoom conference call and our Nation Builder website. So pretty cool. So the next slide is, I guess that's it. I just wanted to do that. So going back to the agenda, we are ready for a teach-in to hear about the Inland Empire DSA and what you are doing. I think I shared some talking points. I hope you have that. And
Oh yeah.
So I actually don't know that much about you. So if you'd be willing to share maybe a minute of a little bio on yourself, and then go ahead and get to going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, hi everyone. My name is Matt Milholland. I'm a rank and file member of the Inland Empire Democratic Socialists of America, fairly new organization here in the progressive community of the Inland Empire. Myself, I'm a political science student, hoping to transfer. I'm in community college right now, hoping to transfer to UCR or San Bernardino for the fall semester. And then once I get my degree, I'm hoping to teach high school government and economics. So that's my background. And you know, how I got into socialism and all that is like way longer story than you know, like a few minutes could really allow for.
Okay.
So let me just tell you about you know, the Democratic Socialists of America and the Inland Empire chapter. So DSA is the largest socialist organization in the United States. We believe that working people should run both the economy and society democratically to meet human needs, not to make profits for a few. We are a political and activist organization, not a party. Through campus and community-based chapters, DSA members use a variety of tactics, from legislative to direct action, to fight for reforms that empower working people. So that's DSA as a national organization. And now looking at the Inland Empire chapter, we've held regular canvassing events for Medicare for All. We've set up reading groups on a variety of topics, rallied against U.S. military intervention in Venezuela and against immigrant detentions. We provide movie showings, which Bobbi Jo attended this past Sunday. Hope she had a good time.
Absolutely.
And we also have sent members to Mexico to aid with the humanitarian crisis at the border. And we have an upcoming Brake Light Clinic on March 23rd. And a Brake Light Clinic is a free community event intended to reduce traffic stops by replacing participants' brake lights. We provide it as a free service to the community. It's aimed primarily at marginalized members of a community who could be victims of police intimidation, violence. So that's one big event that we have upcoming towards the end of March. And you can find more information about the Inland Empire DSA at our website, iedsa.org, or on Facebook. And then going off the little template that Bobbi gave me, how we're organized. Inland Empire DSA will have an executive committee headed by 2 co-chairs and a variety of officers. We don't have that right now because we've just been recognized in organizing committee status by the national organization. So our elections will be held sometime within the next month, most likely. And then we'll have, you know, actual elected leadership. Right now, everybody's just kind of contributing the best they can to, you know, get things off the ground. And I think we're doing pretty well. So then our meetings, we have a monthly meeting, and it's generally held the third Wednesday of every month. However, circumstances might be forcing us to move our meeting this month up a few days. We have so if you're interested in our meetings, check out iedsa.org or our Facebook page. You can just find that by searching for Inland Empire DSA. And we will also be holding a Medicare for All street canvassing event on Thursday, March 7th. And that's typically starts at about 6 o'clock. And again, you can find the information on our Facebook page. And then the one action that anyone in the progressive community in the Inland Empire can take to help, if you're a socialist, join DSA and come to one of our meetings. I mean, there's so many leftists, kind of isolated throughout the progressive community, and DSA is trying to kind of bring us all together, and instead of isolated leftists, form an actual coherent left as a political and social force in this country. So, if you're a lefty, come out and check us out. So that's all the bullet points there, I think.
That's awesome. So tell me about, maybe we have a few more minutes for you to share. So I guess tell us about your most successful event so far, or something that's been really powerful to hear from the community about the presence of a DSA.
Our most successful events have been kind of outreach events. Particularly our Medicare for All street canvassing. We canvass every month at the Riverside Art Walk. And obviously, I mean, it's kind of self-selecting. It's a community that's coming out to check out art and, might be more socially conscious, younger. But I'm constantly surprised by the number of people who are not only excited by the prospect of Medicare for All as a policy in this country, but excited by DSA and socialism. We typically ask people, volunteer, and then we also say, oh, and we're also with this organization, Democratic Socialists of America. And the number of people who just, their eyes light up and go, yeah, really surprises me, but in a good way. And yeah, so having that kind of community outreach. And we hear people's personal stories when we talk about Medicare for All. Part of what we do is, ask people about their personal experiences with our broken healthcare system. And it just kind of creates a really cool, productive dialogue between ourselves and part of the general public, And I think that's one of the most successful things we do. And it really also excites our members to get out there and advocate for something that they really believe in. So it's been really successful in that regard.
Awesome. So how long has the Medicare for All campaign been going on?
Nationally, I think DSA adopted the Medicare for All campaign as a national priority back in 2017. Actually, it might have been 2016. So a few years nationally. And then locally here with Inland Empire DSA, they've been, I only joined about 3 to 4 months ago, and the canvassing had been going on long before I joined, and I don't really have a specific date on that. But it's been an ongoing campaign. We've gotten a lot of great contacts out of it. So it's a great way to bring people in to the campaign for Medicare for All, and also bring people into DSA, and just also develop the capacities of our members to kind of articulate a socialist policy and a socialist political worldview to people who are kind of outside their bubble. And I think that's another really great thing about it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out on a Wednesday evening. It looks like we did have somebody join us, so I'd love to hear from whoever joined us. But in the meantime, I have shown, I went ahead and just did a Google search on Democratic Socialists Medicare for All. So this is the website for the Medicare for All campaign from the national organization. And look at me, I grabbed a little logo and did another slide, added it to the presentation.
Thank you.
So there's the info, contact info. Is there any additional info we should put on here that folks could use?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to put the dates for our next canvassing event, which is March 7th, canvas Medicare for All canvassing, and then the Brake Light Clinic, as I said, is going to be March 23rd. So that will be the Brake Light Clinic, and as I said, you can find more information on that on Facebook.
Awesome. Okay, so I went ahead and added those couple little things that going on, so folks will have access to that with a recording and with the it checking in right now. So who joined us from the 951 area code?
That would be me. Good evening. My name is Janet Bernabe. I'm the Riverside Regional Coordinator for Mi Familia Vota. So I've been trying to get on the calls. I got the invite today, but we met with Bobbi. I met yourself at the Inland Empire Women's March.
Awesome. Yes, I think I remember. Yes.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of work. So MFV, Mi Familia Vota, is a national nonprofit, nonpartisan organization. So we have a couple of offices throughout California, Utah, Florida, Texas, Arizona, and Colorado. Not Utah, it's Colorado. And Nevada, that's the one I was missing. And the state of California has 3 offices, which is in Fresno, Modesto, and in Riverside, which Riverside is the one I'm looking, is my office. And we do work in civic engagement, which it can be from civic engagement could be from voter registration, voter education, citizenship classes, citizenship workshops. So yes.
Awesome. So I don't know when you were able to get on the call, but thank you so much for joining us. And I did want to kind of go back to our agenda. So we did review some community agreements, and as we said earlier, these are a work in progress, and feedback is encouraged and welcomed. So I'm actually going to put that in there, so that we know that this isn't set in stone. And here's some of the agreements that we came up with. Since it's a small call right now, we have the floor to share a lot of information that if we want to, on activities that we've done, successes, thoughts that we might have from the last month, what's happened since the last phone call. There's a lot of stuff that happened today. So if anybody, if Matt or Janice, right?
Janet, yeah.
Janet. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have anything to share on just in general, just not necessarily organizational, but just in the last month's event, you're welcome to show. I will say for myself, I am super excited that Bernie Sanders is running for president. That's just me. I was a Bernie Sanders delegate back in 2016. And so I just am. Why I'm so amped is that it allows me now to find even more of my people out in the community, and use that as an organizing tool to talk about the issues that I think he's done a real good job at bringing forward, and how much further can we push. So that's my excitement, where it comes from. He's a good guy too. I'll vote for him, but but I'm definitely using the political revolution for organizing here in the IE. So so it looks like Edwin has joined us as well. You want to say hi, Edwin?
Hi everyone, I'm so sorry I was late.
No worries. We were just waiting for you. No. So please introduce yourself and tell us where you're calling from if you're part of any organization.
Yeah, I'm calling from Palm Springs. I'm with Bayanihan Desert, which has been looking at civic engagement amongst Filipino residents in the greater Coachella Valley.
Okay, great. So we're kind of on where we are on the agenda is kind of sharing some thoughts, ideas, things that happened in the last month that, you know, you'd love have a safe conversation with a bunch of, you know, like-minded folks.
Thank you.
So Janet, do you have anything to add or?
So since I'm new to the calls, just in reference to like things that have been going on, you mean like events that we've been promoting and activities that we've been doing within the community? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like if you had
Okay.
any good success stories, because sometimes if we share something that we've done, that might give somebody else some inspiration to do either the same thing or connect with you, or it might spur on a new idea.
Okay. So one of the good things we have going on right now, we have a youth leadership and civic engagement program through MSB. So we go into to high schools and we do presentations about civic engagement. So, you know, what does that mean? Not just through voter registration, but voter education, voter history, and how we can participate in the importance of not just national elections, but also local elections. So recently we have a pretty great group of students from mostly from Riverside County. And one of the things that we also focus on is legislation and policies and how that affects their, you know, themselves and those within around their community. So recently we were awarded grants to take our students to ACL Youth Conference and Lobby Day in April. So that is one exciting thing that I wish I would have had when I was younger. But having our students go to it it's just very exciting to see their faces and their texts telling us that they were actually awarded the grants as well.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's great.
I did want to share, and that's really like how we get folks involved, right? You sometimes I have like this ladder of civic engagement, but the very first thing is to just recognize that voting is a part of an essential part of, you know, democracy.
Mm-hmm.
So great. I did want to put out that the chat box is also available to share links, events, flyers, that sort of thing. So that way on the recording, we can also include any messages and links when we post it up on YouTube that folks will be able to grab onto. So if you do the chat, that's it, that'll happen as well. Matt, did you have anything in general? Any great news?
No. I mean, you know, my organization, the Inland Empire DSA. Well, it's not my organization. I'm just a member. But yeah, we're just really starting out. You know, I think we've seen some pretty explosive growth in terms of membership. Bobbi Jo was at the last meeting, and there were about 30 to 40 people who showed up. And it's been like that pretty much every month. You know, there's just been a significant increase. And I think part of it is, you know, the popularity of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you know, Sanders campaign, obviously. And really, I just think a lot of folks are, you know, something there. I don't know. So, yeah, we've just seen this kind of steady, but also, you know, strong growth. Yeah, so right now we're just working to try and capitalize on that and continue our campaign for Medicare for All. I'm sure we'll probably, you know, be doing stuff with Sanders supporters in the future in regard to that, since there's a big community of interest there, overlap. Yeah, I mean, really, that's the main thing that we're doing right now, just trying to build up our organization's capacities and do as much outreach as possible.
Awesome, awesome. And how about you, Edwin? What's going on out there? Thank you so much, Matt.
I'm very happy actually to say that I will be going to the ACLU NorCal as well, which is really exciting.
Yay.
That's the lobby day and everything. That's going to be one of the things. So I've been a member of ACLU SoCal as well, and just getting involved with them. Mike Milholland has been my contact. You know, he's actually one of our ADEMs in 42, and for the California Democratic Party. And I had run recently for that. I got second alternate, but I'm hoping to get to the convention as well in San Francisco, so that should be exciting. So Sacramento for ACLU is one of the things that we're looking forward to. I'm also working with him specifically with the Asian Pacific American Labor Alliance of the Inland Empire chapter. So those are that's the other area that I've been working on with him. We've been very much involved with Bayanihan Desert on the districting of Palm Springs, so that especially in regards to the California Voters' Right Act and the disenfranchising of Latino voters in particular. We've been focusing on Filipino voters in particular because it's the largest of the Asian Pacific Islander groups here in the desert, and I'm Filipino. And we've been looking at how to really, re-energize, and especially since there's very much a lot of conservative elements within our community, currently, even though we come out of labor, and that's one of the things that we're really excited about, because the city is finally going to have a Cesar Chavez Day event at the Pavilion here in Palm Springs on April 1st. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening, and we're sort of being part of this, wave of, municipal activity, but at the same time, how do we get involved on a more progressive level is one of the things that we've been trying to really push through all of, our meetings more recently. In the past, Bayanihan Desert was only founded last year, and we're really trying to push for a lot of involvement on this level, which is really exciting. We're building coalitions along people of color communities here in District 1, for instance, in Palm Springs, which is the first minority-majority district in Palm Springs.
Right. Awesome. So yeah, we just, in our city in Fontana, we did just move to district elections. This was our first election cycle in 2018. So it is interesting what that looks like compared to running a citywide campaign where we have over 60,000 voters, to just do one district of 15,000 voters. It changes the game for sure. It gives us a chance. So yay for you making that happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and just a little quick thing about that too is that I'm on the campaign to help elect Grace Elena Garner, and if she gets elected in District 1, she would be the first Latina on the city council, which is crazy when you think about it.
In California, in Palm Springs,
Palm Springs, California, the desert. I mean, it's not the East Valley, but we Latinos are 25% in the city, and it's just it's outrageous. Students in the Palm Springs Unified School District is 80% Latino. It's crazy.
Wow.
So, yeah. So we'll see where that goes, but I'm really glad that to be part of this. I thank you for again having this kind of platform and place to share. It's really important.
Awesome. Well, and I did want to, I mean, it's definitely open. Please get the word out, have folks share. It does get automatically recorded. And so we are able to share it with folks who, for scheduling or whatever, could not make it onto the call, but then they can still plug in anytime during the month, hear what's been happening, and learn about the organizations that do a little teach-in for us each call. I did want to go back and revisit just because I thought of something. With our resources that we're sharing, we just got a button maker machine. And so we have that available to our partner organizations. If there's a button that you want to get made, or, just membership buttons, we can do that. And it would just be the cost of the actual supplies that we'd want to get covered. But it's something like, if we buy it in bulk together, it's something like less than 30 cents a button. So it's very cost effective. And we got a really great deal on the machine itself, and it's the 2 1/4 size, 2 inches and a quarter size button maker. So that's available. And I don't know if you heard Janet, but I do want to share with Edwin and Bhavin that the Zoom conference call, this conference call line is available as a resource as well. If you ever need to have a video conference, that sort of thing, the number's available for you. You just let us know and we'll put it on the calendar, and you'll get all the information of how to access your call. And the default would be set to not record it, so that way y'all can maintain your privacy. But if you need to record it, let me know, and you can, once I make you the co-host, you can set the recording setting yourself. And I know that with Bhavin, he is the, say hi, Bhavin, and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, sorry I was a little late. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, great. My name is Bhavin. I'm currently the political chair for the San Gorgonio chapter of the Sierra Club. I've lived in the Inland Empire almost my entire life. Grew up in San Bernardino, went to Pacific High School. So I'm pretty close to this community. Obviously have a lot of personal connections to it. So I want to do whatever I can do to give back to those that have helped me, and to make sure that the upcoming generation, people like my brother who are still in high school, have opportunities available to them, and that we're doing whatever we can to create a better future for them.
Awesome. So why it made me think to listen to Bob and have him introduce himself is, for the last few months, the executive board of the Sierra Club has been using the Zoom conference call line. They transitioned from a regular conference call. And I think it does make it a little funner to see people's faces, although I still have to figure out my dang video camera on my laptop. So that's why you just see a picture of me. But it is fun to, and then like, you know, when somebody's waving, it's great because then now you can call on somebody, and obviously the slide share and stuff like that. That's always fun too. So let me know if you have any questions. You can reach out to ieprogressivealliance@gmail.com, and that would you know, let me know if you need anything with the Zoom conference call, or you want to have some buttons to be made or anything like that. And anybody else have anything to share about, you know, this last month?
You know, I just thought of something that I neglected to mention earlier, is that the DSA as a national organization, we've partnered with National Nurses United, California Nurses Association here in California, to put a pressure campaign to get as many co-sponsors to the latest Medicare for All bill that's being put forward in the House, the J-Paul bill. So I'm going to share a link to the National Nurses United Medicare for All site.
Okay.
And yeah, you can go there and you know, put in your zip code, and they'll give you information about local canvassing events, local barnstorming events that are happening in your community that you can turn out for if you support Medicare for All. So yeah, a lot of DSA members are going out and participating in these, along with our own campaign activities.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So I did, in the last phone call, we did talk about how to connect folks with each other. And we added an issues page in the, on the ieprogressivealliance.com website. So we added an issues page where folks could talk about what they're doing on these different campaigns. So if you don't mind, Matt, you can, these are set up as blog pages. So as soon as you're like logged into the system, you can add posts here of what you're doing on for whatever campaign you're working on.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. So, and it's a great way to share stuff, again, connected to the community, but also making it available to folks who not, because not everybody's on Facebook. And so an offsite website is, is a great tool to be able to have. So I will say, I think I put something in here about environmental justice. So I posted about the Green New Deal, what that would look like, and the Sierra Club, the California Sierra Club. We are our own big, huge state organization, part of the national chapters across the country. We did approve a resolution to implore our national organization to declare a climate emergency and to really get behind any and all answers to address climate change and sustainability and our dependence on fossil fuels. So we were really excited about that. So I posted that, and there's a way that you could add your name to that as well, and sending the letting them know, the two big co-sponsors in the House and the Senate, letting them know that you support a new Green New Deal, and you can take action there. So if there's another issue that we need to add, please totally feel free to let me know, and we can add the issue, and then you can start blogging away and sharing events and things like that. We also have our events calendar. And so any event that we actually add to the physical calendar, you'll see an event page just like a blog spot as well. But you also have an option to just email, and if you scroll all the way down through all these events, you just email an event, whatever it is, the ICS file, like from Facebook or a Google file. If you invite the IE Progressive Alliance at gmail.com email address, then that event will get added to the calendar again, so folks can share and see what's happening around the area. And so there's a couple ways you can see. You can see it weekly, monthly, or in a whole list like this. And usually where I'm getting some of this information is from a website or a Facebook event where it just gets added to our added into our calendar to share with others, so that we can have a comprehensive list of things going on. So I hope that's helpful for folks. And if you have any last minute questions or anything that y'all would want to share as we wrap up tonight's call.
No, I don't have any questions, but I think at our next general meeting, I'm going to put forward a resolution to maybe kick in for the Zoom account, because it's such a fantastic resource for our organization. Our membership is so far flung over the Inland Empire that having this resource is going to be just a godsend for us. So yeah, we're definitely going to try to contribute and help out the IE Progressive Alliance. It seems like a great resource for everyone to draw on.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Matt. Yeah, we would love it. We again, this is it's been a loose collaboration, and I think it's really time now to get serious with each other and not keep trying to reinvent the wheel or spend more resources than we have to. And we're all volunteers pretty much, right?
Right, right.
I got a quick question. There was someone here that mentioned something about electing a Hispanic woman to some city council.
Yeah, that would be Palm Springs City Council. Palm Springs City Council. We're working on getting Catalina Garner becoming the first Latina for this Palm Springs City Council.
Cool. I'd love to talk to you after the call or whenever you have time.
Sure. You got me. This is Edwin.
So you guys could direct message each other if you're on the Zoom app, or obviously just make note of the names. I can connect you to if you need to.
Thank you, Bobbi Jo.
Awesome. Okay, so I wanted to just wrap up. We're a few minutes behind, but just to give a little tribute to the DSA and the DSA logo. the DSA logo is actually a rose, and so with hands and stuff, and I'll show you that. But it's based upon an idea of that yes, we need to fight for economics, sustenance and sustainability, like survival. We need bread, right? But we also need the beauty of life and some dignity, and that was. This poem was actually inspired from one line in a speech when the women suffragists were pursuing the right to vote, that we are mothers, and yes, we can put bread. We want bread, but we want the roses as well. And so here's a poem, and we'll finish up with this, written by James Oppenheim. And as you can see, I'm just on Wikipedia. So there's a bunch of like folk versions, and like I think it's a ballad is the music that it's been put to. Joan Baez has done a version. Annie DeFranco has done a version. There's a whole bunch of folks have done different versions. There's a movie that it was in where people just start singing in the hall as they're organizing. So as we come marching in the beauty of the day, 1,000,000 darkened kitchens, 1,000 mill lofts gray, are touched with all the radiance that a sudden sun discloses, for the people hear us singing, bread and roses, bread and roses. As we come marching, we battle too for men, for they are women's children, and we mother them again. Our days shall not be sweated from birth until life closes. Hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread, but give us roses. As we come marching, unnumbered women dead go crying through our singing their ancient song of bread, small art and love and beauty, their trudging spirits new. Yes, it is bread we fight for, but we fight for roses too. As we come marching, we bring the greater days. The rising of the woman means the rising of the race. No more the drudge and idler, 10 that toil where one reposes, but a sharing of life's glories, bread and roses, bread and roses. Thank you everyone for joining in tonight. Say hi, yay!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you have a good night. And again, ieprogressivealliance@gmail.com if you have anything to share and send our way. Have a great night, and have a great month, and I hope to see you all out in the streets.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.